はいどうも皆さんこんにちは、ジョーチャンネルです。今回はこのよくわからないホラーゲーム
I am writing this under an appreciable mental strain, since by tonight I shall be no more.
私はストレスの中でこれを書いているというのを今夜には私はこの世から姿を消すのである。おい死ぬな、やめろ。何ここの部屋斜めってんの。このなんか矢印2つの矢印じゃねえよ、
So
三
liberal
角2つのところ
indeed
で
was the discipline of our
なんか
captors
次に行け
that
る。
5 days after we were taken, I managed to escape alone in a small boat with
ああ、脱獄しようとしてんのね。ああ、もう良くない。良く
When
な
I
くないの
finally
か。
found myself adrift and free, I
良くなくない。
had but little idea of my surroundings.
まあいっか。
Never a competent navigator, I could only guess vaguely by the sun and stars that I was somewhat south of the equator.
この人結構頭いいのか。なんか昔の人ってよくなんか星を眺めて、なんか今の自
Of the
分の位置が分
longitude,
かるみた
I
い
knew
な。す
nothing,
ごい頭いい。
and no island or coastline was in sight.
島も岸辺も見えない。まあ食
But
料も
neither
尽
ship
きちゃう。
nor land appeared, and I began to despair in my solitude upon the heaving vastness of unbroken blue.
まあ頑張って。
The change happened whilst I
変
slept.
化は私はね、
Its details I
詳しい
shall
ことは
never,
分からない。
for my slumber, though troubled and dream infested, was continuous.
ずっと眠っていたんだ。何なんでそんなに。
When at last I awoke, it was to discover myself half sucked into a slimy expanse of hellish black mire, which extended about me in
なん
monotonous
かイカみたいな
undulations
の
as far as
が
I could
すごい
see.
こういうなんか荒れてる。なんか朝だからよかったけど夜だったらもっと怖かった。うわ。
Crawled into the stranded boat, I realized that only one theory, through some unprecedented volcanic upheaval,
100万何百万年もの間海に。
For several hours I sat thinking or brooding in the boat, which lay upon its side and afforded a slight shade as the sun moved.
やっぱ朝とか
As the day
昼なんか
progressed,
厳しい。
the ground lost some of its stickiness and seemed likely to.
乾くだ。
That night I slept but little, and the next day I made for myself a pack
もう夜になったらもうダメだって。なんかあるわそこ。食料とか尽きないのか
On
な。
the third morning, I found the soil dry enough to walk upon with ease.
簡単にやるけど乾いていることをよく確認した。
The odor of the fish was maddening, but I was too much concerned with graver things to mind so slight an evil, and set out boldly for an unknown goal. All day I forged steadily westward, guided by a faraway hummock which rose higher than any other elevation on the rolling desert.
おだけど
By
近
the
づいて
fourth
る。横見
evening,
る。
I attained the base of the mound, which turned out to be much higher than it had appeared from a distance. An intervening valley setting it out in sharper relief from the general.
結構
Too
高い。
weary to ascend, I slept in the shadow of the hill.
あ、いいね。
I know not why my dreams were so wild that night. But ere the waning and fantastically gibbous moon,
前に
I was awake in a cold perspiration, determined to sleep no more.
もうこれ以上眠らないことにし。なん
Such
で
visions as I had experienced were too much for me to endure again, and in the glow of the moon I saw how unwise I had been to travel by day. Without the glare of the parching sun, my journey would have cost me less energy.
あ、だけど牛ってそこまで高くない気がする。
Picking up my
もっ
pack,
と持ち。さあ、あ、これ持って。
I have said that the unbroken monotony of the rolling plain was a source of vague horror to me. But I think my horror was greater when I gained the summit of the mound and looked down the other side into an immeasurable pit or canyon.
OK。
Ledges and outcroppings of rock afforded fairly easy footholds for a descent.
結構難
Urged
し
on
い
by
感
an
じがある。
impulse which I cannot
自分では分
definitely
析不
analyze,
可能な
I scrambled with difficulty down the rocks and stood on the gentler slope beneath, gazing into the Stygian deeps, where no light had yet penetrated. All at once, my attention was captured by a vast and singular object on the opposite slope, which rose steeply about an object that gleamed whitely in the newly bestowed rays of the ascent.
ほら、あそこになんか一つだけ光ってる。歩いていくのね。どこ？もう行っていい
For
の？
despite its enormous magnitude and its position in an abyss which had yawned at the bottom of the sea since the world was young, I perceived beyond a doubt that the strange object was a well-shaped monolith, whose massive bulk had known the workmanship and perhaps the worship. Dazed and frightened, yet not without a certain thrill of the scientists or
はい、近くまで行くってことね。めっちゃでかっ。
and revealed the fact that a far-flung body of water flowed at the bottom, winding out of sight in both directions and almost lapping my feet as I stood on the slope, but whose decomposing forms I had observed on the ocean-risen plain. It was the pictorial carving, however, that did most to hold me spellbound. Though the creatures were shown disporting like fishes in the waters of some marine grotto, or paying homage at some of their faces and forms, I dare not speak in detail, for the mere remembrance makes me grow faint, grotesque beyond the imagination of a Poe or a Bulwer.
なんか不気味だな、この顔の絵。
Then, suddenly, I saw it. With only a slight churning to mark its rise to the surface, the thing slid into view above the dark water.
待って、見てなかった。お、今来たのね。
It darted like a stupendous monster of nightmares to the mind, about which it flung its gigantic scales, while it bowed its hideous head and gave vent.
はって声なのに、この喋ってる人はってな低い声なんだよ。息をさ、はあっていう時は高い声。
Of my frantic ascent of the sloping cliff and of my delirious journey back to the stranded boat.
頑張って。まあ逃げてたってことでしょ？やばいゴリラみたいなやつが。
I believe I sang a great deal and laughed oddly when I was unable to sing.
どういうこと？だとか。
I have indistinct recollections of a great storm sometime after I reached. At any rate,
天気雨にしては
pearls of
も
thunder.
のすごい雨の量だな。頑張れ。やっぱこれホラーゲームだったわ。多分ホラーゲーム。
When I came out of the shadows, I was in a San Francisco hospital,
この病院にいた。
brought thither by the captain of the American ship which had picked up my boat in mid-ocean.
何それ？
In my delirium, I had said much, but found that my words had been given scant attention.
まあそりゃそうだよ。
Of any land upheaval in the Pacific,
話しても誰も信じてくれるわけないもん。
nor did I deem it necessary to insist upon a thing which I knew they could not believe.
わかる。もうだって言っても信用してくれないんだったらいいんだよ。なんで開いたの？ねえ、ゴムゴムの見
Once I
方。
sought out a celebrated ethnologist
そっちの方が問題じゃない。
and amused him with peculiar questions regarding the ancient Philistine legend of Dagon, the fish god.
まあ後ろ振り向 向いてこっち行くね。ここどこなの？これ自分家って言わないよね。自分の家じゃないよな、さすがに。あ、こうやってなんかただただ移動するためにこう来た。
It is at night, especially when the moon is gibbous and waning, that I see the thing. I tried morphine.
モルヒネを試して。マジでモルヒネって何
？But the drug has given only transient surcease and has drawn me into its clutches as a hopeless slave.
だけで私は絶望的な奴隷のように。
So now I am to end it all, having written a full account for the information or the contemptuous amusement of my fellow men. Often I ask myself if it could not all have been a pure phantasm. A mere freak of fever as I lay sun-stricken and raving in the open. This I ask myself, but ever does there come before me. I cannot think of the deep sea without shuddering at the nameless things that may at this very moment be crawling and floundering on its slimy bed, worshipping their ancient stone idols and carving their own detestable likenesses on submarine obelisks. I dream of a day when they may rise above the billows to drag down into their reeking talons, of a day when the land shall sink and the dark ocean shall ascend amidst universal pandemonium.
ニューヨークじゃん。俺ニューヨーク好きだからやめてほしいな。多分これってあれだよね。ニューヨークだよね。
The end is
終
near.
わりは近い。
I hear a noise at the door, as of some immense slippery.
音が聞こえる。早く。何？ドアってどこ？あ、ここか。
It shall not find me.
見つかるものか。やばい、来てる。どこにも行けない。
God, that hand!
判定は急に高い声になった。
The window! The window!
窓に逃げろ。ゴーウィンドウ、ゴーウィンドウ。おー、こういうことね。はい、ということで今回はこれで終わりにします。チャンネル登録、高評価よろしくお願いします。また見てね。バイバイ。